There now follows a party political broadcast on behalf of the Labour Party.
I've been working in the NHS for around 15 years now. I joined as an apprentice and I'd done a 5-year apprenticeship in another trust. There's a lot of changes going on at the moment within the NHS, and it's good to know that Amicus are there and protecting its members. Got a regional officer who's there 24/7. We've got legal support. We've got people on the end of a phone, and they'll come down at a moment's notice. It's lifted morale. I mean, it gives you something to strive for. As I understand the Warwick Agreement, there's going to be greater protections for temporary staff, contracted staff, and I think that continued funding in the event of a third-term Labour government is going to benefit staff through training purposes and expansion of particularly our site and others around the country. We suffered for 18 years under the previous Tory government, and the first 2 terms of this Labour government have brought numerous benefits to staff. Its statutory rights, as the implementation of the minimum wage, a whole range of benefits that would not have been seen under a Tory government. We shouldn't lose heart just because things may not be going as we see as perfect. We've got to think about how it was, and we've got to remember how it was and how things have really changed.
Within the finance sector at the moment, we currently, I would say, have over 500,000 workers nationally. Now with the merger of Unify and Amicus, we have quite a high percentage, probably up to approximately 50% membership within the finance sector, including our Unify colleagues.
The relationship between the Labour Party and the unions now, especially with Amicus, we do have quite a few MPs who are Amicus members. My view is that you can't have a better relationship than that, than comparing the Tories destroying the mining communities and the mining unions.
There is still a long way to go in certain areas to rebuild the trust between the government and the unions, but we're getting there. And again, with the Warwick agenda, it proves that we can work together, we can work side by side and in partnership and come to some kind of agreement. I believe people forget that the majority of people working within the finance sector are women. I think the ratio is something between 70 and 30%. Part of the Warwick Agreement or agenda is that they will set up a women's committee to actually look at equal pay and different rights and benefits and conditions for women in the working environment.
It's important, rather than being apathetic, just sitting at home, to go out and vote. And if you feel that strongly about something, that there isn't much difference, become a member of the Labour Party, so that you can become more involved in the issues and have an effect on changing policies. That's better than just sitting at home and not bothering to vote for any party.
The Amicus setup here is one of quite substantial involvement. We regularly have full-time officials coming on site, meet with the stewards, get involved with all the negotiations that we need locally. We also have a national setup where we have Amicus have a national responsibility for the glass industry. We have a network of shop stewards here. We regularly obviously have to communicate with the members here. We obviously have to do so on quite numerous occasions. Some of the pledges that are made in the work agreement that are very important to us here are certainly more protection for unfair dismissal. That's vital for protection, and obviously increased redundancy payments. It's quite vital for us here that we've got families, that we've got that extra payments possibly coming our way. I don't believe that the work agreement would have even started under a Conservative government. It was a government that really didn't get into protecting people's jobs, wasn't interested in trade unions, wasn't interested in people's rights at work. What the Labour government has done is brought in a lot of agreements that have protected jobs. That certainly would not have happened under a Conservative government. I would say to people that are now saying to me that I could be possibly not voting in the next general election is have a memory. Have a memory, go back to before 97, to what things were like then, to the jobs that were going out of this country, the jobs that were going out of manufacturing. Think of your families and all our families, the education benefits we're now getting, the increased money on health. Have a think back to pre-1997 and what it was like then, and do people really seriously want to go back to those days?
For more information about James Alexander and the Labour Party, please visit www.time-for-change.org.uk.